Welcome back to A Celtic State of Mind. I'm Paul John Dykes, and this afternoon I am here to discuss Celtic 1, Kilmarnock 0. It's half-time, and a decent performance in the first half. Plenty of chances actually crafted out by Celtic, but worryingly a couple for Kilmarnock as well. Let us know what you think in the first half. In you come. Paul must be off today. You're thinking that, Jungle Line, because I was early in setting up the streams, but thankfully, no, I am here. Casper has been saving a couple in that first half. Let's have a wee chat about the importance of him. He's coming for a lot of stick. The first thing that we spoke about in the pre-match was, of course, the shape of the team. And, of course, I had suggested a 5-3-2 would have been possible with the personnel, but it looked as though mainly it was a 4-3-3 with Simpson Pusey playing on the right-hand side. Let me know what you think about the performance of the debutant. There's a player that was available all season for Brendan Rodgers, but for whatever reason, it wasn't picked. And I think, going by that first half performance, he could have contributed. He looks like a big, strong unit, physicality, very, very composed and comfortable on the ball. And I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure why he's not been utilised up to this point. It does beg another question that we may return to. We've got time as to why he, Shin Yamada, Ian Moura, Callum Osmond have not been used by Brendan Rodgers, because at least two of them have shown that they can contribute to this side. Celtic take the lead 1-0, and it's Johnny Kenny after 10 minutes. And there you go. Johnny Kenny, 4 goals in 4 games. A player who had been written off by many. He's a player that I doubted had the quality to lead the line for Celtic, but he's leading the line. And he's doing really well under Martin O'Neill. Scores a brace on his first game under O'Neill against Falkirk last Wednesday night. Follows it up with the opener against Rangers. He was quiet, it's got to be said, against Midtjylland, and then he opens the scoring this afternoon against Kilmarnock. Johnny Kenny, 4-4. He's the man that we have to put all our hopes on, because he's the striker. He's the number one striker at the moment, with an injury to Ian Atchell. Shin Yamada, of course, is on the bench. How did you think Johnny Kenny performed in the first half? He also hit the post. He had a couple of chances beyond his goal, didn't he? But the biggest chance of that first half was Dyson Maeda. I'm still not sure how on earth he didn't manage to put that away. One of those misses that, the player would have hoped that the ground would have opened up and swallowed him, because it's a shocker. It was an absolute shocker, and he's got to score. And Maeda's had a couple of chances, and Kenny's had a couple of chances, hit the post. But as I said before, Kilmarnock also have crafted out a couple. One of them was Route 1 football, ends up hitting the bar. Kasper Schmeichel with a good save as well. So let's get some of your thoughts in there. An interesting first half performance, not a vintage performance by any manner of means, and I think because of the Kilmarnock chances, you're hoping for a 2-goal cushion. The 1-goal cushion is not enough, is it? It just is not enough. Gutted for Sirachi, says Loopy 33Z. He was becoming my favourite player in this team. KT looks out of gas already. We spoke about Kieran Tierney before the game kicked off, our expectations of Kieran and what has materialised since he's come back to the football club. In the meantime, because there has been a bit of disappointment in and around that with Kieran Tierney, Sirachi has claimed the left-back berth as his own. And I think that he's been very impressive, and he's a player that he's so attack-minded, isn't he? Him and Tuneki up the left-hand side. The pace was unreal in him coming back to defend as well, Loopy. So, yeah, I can see why a lot of Celtic fans have taken to Sirachi. Marcelo Sirachi, who, of course, is on loan, and unfortunately, there is no option to buy within that loan agreement. Not to say that we don't go in and try and buy him after the loan is up, of course, but no loan to buy agreement in the original deal, unfortunately, because he does look like a player that, he's the third loanee at left back in succession. If you think about Alex Bailly, followed by Jeffrey Schlupp, and now Marcelo Sirachi, and of the three, he has been, for me, the best of the three. I thought Schlupp came in and made a decent impression early doors, and then he faded away, most notably faded away after the Bayern Munich games in February. Bailly, there was some flashes, but I don't think he got into his groove before getting a permanent move over to Como. And of course, Kieran Tierney comes in and he hasn't established himself as the first choice. Looks out of gas already. What is it about his style of play now that's changed, I think, in the years that he's been away from Celtic? Let us know in the comment section if you think he can still recapture some of that early form that made him a £25 million player. Stevie boy, we're bringing you in. You're on YouTube. If anyone's watching this on YouTube, give us a like on the YouTube, give us a thumbs up, and also hit the notifications bell and subscribe to the channel as well. We are heading towards 40,000 subscribers, and hopefully we can get that within the next few months as well. Stevie boy, you're a regular contributor. It's great to see you. Think we're playing well? I agree. I've been watching that first half performance. I think we've been pretty good. But just a couple of wee concerns at the back. I'm struggling to see what Luke is bringing to this game. Luke McKeown, a couple of phenomenal passes, actually. I did take a note of one in particular where he creates a chance with an incredible through ball. But unfortunately, when it comes to actually the chances himself, he's scissor kicked one over. And then there was one just before the half-time whistle, of course, where it was high and wide. I think he deserves to start the second half, Stevie, before we make any changes. McKeown, if we're looking at him, his performance maybe versus Rio Otati's performance. Rio Otati, although he's not giving the ball away much, he's not done much either in terms of an offensive force. So I'm not sure if I would be taking Luke off at this stage. Let us know in the comment section what you think. And we've also got William O'Toole. You must be due to pull a hamstring. Everybody else seems to be. Listen, it is a concern. It is a concern with so many hamstring injuries in the side at the moment. Iheanacho, of course, pulling up. Callum Osmond, Alistair Johnson getting 2 back-to-back as well. And then, of course, today, Sarachi pulling his hamstring. William, of course, mine's was a calf pull. And I'm not a footballer or an athlete by any manner of means. But like most of us of a certain vintage, you do try and keep fit and going out running. And I don't know if it was torn or it was a pull, but by God, it's hard to come back, even just for someone who's going out running, never mind the intensity of a professional footballer. So these are niggly, horrible injuries, and they are plaguing us at the moment. Listen, I've got to say, with regards to McKeown coming in here, Xiajix, I don't think he's poor. I think that the problem Luke McKeown has at the moment is he's in, then he's out. He's not been able to get that kind of rhythm in his game. He's not had a great opportunity of, let's say, even half a dozen games starting in a row. He's not had that luxury. Neither has Paulo Bernardo, of course, who's not featuring today. I would keep him in. I'd keep him in. He needs to get the first 60 for me, and then we'll maybe make decisions based on that. Stephen Broadley. Stephen, you were in on Thursday night telling us that you thought we were going to get pumped. That was your words. And you were right. It was a decent performance considering the changes made. I think it was. We've got a defence there who have never played together. Of course, JSP making his debut. Let us know in the comment section how you think he played, because I'm looking at him and I'm wondering why he's not featured before now. It's the same kind of thoughts I was having at the other end of the park when Callum Osmond comes in and makes a telling contribution. It does make you wonder why these players have not featured. And I know other players who had obviously featured heavily last season who weren't featuring under Brendan Rodgers this season were Austin Trusty, of course, who's come in and who's playing very, very well. And Arnie Engels, who I remember, we cannot forget his performance against Sturm Graz before the Hearts performance, and then against Rangers. So a couple of little indications that Arnie Engels may also come back into this side, Stephen. And let me know how you think today's game is going as well. Now, I'm bringing this up from my name, 719, because there were obviously bans in place. The Green Brigade have been banned for 6 games. I think the boys, the other ultra group, are trying their best to keep the singing going. And of course, there were chants of Desmond get to a certain place beginning with F, which isn't Falkirk. We've also got Mika. How can Dyson be hopeless? It was for that moment. How can he be hopeless in front of goal when he scored 34 last season? It's so frustrating to see a player who was really hitting the peak of their powers, Mick, last season, isn't it? And then you see that moment where it's just like, just put your toe, get anything, get any kind of purchase on it, and it's in the net. And we're sitting here feeling a little bit better about today's game because, of course, there are other matches being played and have been played in Scotland this afternoon. So I'm going to run through the other 3 games that were underway at 3 o'clock. Our game, of course, started at 4 for some strange reason. Aberdeen 1, Motherwell 1 was the score at Pittodrie. Carlson, highly rated, opened the scoring, but just 3 minutes later, just scored for Motherwell. I'm just having a look at the lineups. Yes, Stephen Welsh did start that game, so he is a mainstay in the Motherwell starting 11. Rangers visited Dens Park today. They won 3-0. Nico Raskin opened the scoring. Then we had Mickey Moore and Gassama scoring a last-minute goal. So quite an easy enough victory for Rangers. But the interesting one for me was at Tynecastle, where Dundee United held Hearts to a 1-1 draw. Now, all credit, and we gave all credit to Aberdeen last season when they were doing so well in the first half of the season. All credit to Hearts for what they've done so far. Because we are chasing them. I mean, there's no other way that we can describe that. But to win a league, because everybody's telling us that Hearts are going to win this league, to win a league takes an incredible effort over the entirety of the season. Hearts will drop points. We said that. They beat us. They beat us fair and square. They beat us well, actually, at Tynecastle. Hearts will drop points, and they have dropped points again today. I don't think they would have expected to drop points today against Dundee United, but indeed they have with a 1-1 draw. Celtic have to see this through against Kilmarnock this afternoon because we are sitting 7 points behind Hearts at the moment with a game in hand. That's what we need to do. We just need to keep racking the scores up, keep racking the 3 points up on the board and ensure that that gap gets smaller and smaller by every match day. And that's what's happened today. Now, Will's dad says here, Will Sad, all these injuries showing the need for strength and depth. Absolutely does. But also what makes you wonder why we're getting so many of the same injuries. You know, you sometimes look at that and think, what are we doing that's causing these injuries when there is repeated issues with the hamstring injuries? Well, sad. And I know that obviously it's one of those injuries in football that does happen, but we've had so many of them that it makes you wonder. We've also got Phil Sorrow. Phil just basically says no complaints. We played decent. I think we did. I do think we did. We've also got Tanner Baugh dribbler. You're going old school. There's an old school nostalgic vibe about Celtic at the moment. You're going old school with a Tanner Baugh. Were you a Tanner Baugh dribbler? Let us know. Hope Shin gets a start. Well, let's hope that he gets some minutes. Johnny Kenny, of course, is the reason we're up. Welcome back, Inamura. Listen, see if there's a player in the squad that can come in and contribute as Trusty has done, as Osmond has done, and today as Simpson Pusey has done. Get them in. We need to utilise the entirety of our squad right up until January. Lupe does say that it's a poor standard game. Only Tunecki's shown any quality. I do have in my notes Tunecki is a player who I think that we need to just continually feed. Keep getting the ball down the left with Tunecki. He's not got the same, so far, understanding, I don't think, with Kieran Tierney as he does with Sarachi. Keep feeding Tunecki the ball. He is a player who will run at the defenders. It doesn't matter if you double up on him. He'll try and run through to them and create chances. So absolutely keep giving him the ball. Big shout out, actually, last Friday night, Alan McGregor from these parts, however, now residing in Australia, had come over for the Rangers game and he joined us on Friday night. It was great to meet you, my friend, and hopefully you're enjoying the match action today as well. I'm going to go back to the GSP chat, Simpson Pusey chat, and the fact that Osmond came in and made a contribution. Why is it they were so quickly written off? Now, I think, Brendan Rodgers wanted to be at the end of every transfer decision. The club has claimed, both in the meeting to the fan group and also in Dermot Desmond's scathing attack on Rodgers on last Monday night, that Rodgers had a say in every single transfer, signed them all off. And my argument always was, if that's the case, why are these guys not featuring? I mean, because as a football fan, you think to yourself, well, they just can't be good enough. But That doesn't stack up with Simpson Pusey. As I said, 19-year-old, Manchester City, first team experience, Champions League experience. And indeed with Osmond, just a young guy coming through, scoring goals in Premier League 2. I think there's a deeper discussion to be had, and we'll probably have it during the week. Because obviously Simpson Pusey's only played 45 minutes, but it doesn't look as though he's a guy that wasn't worthy of a first-team opportunity. Let's go to the second half action. Thanks, everybody, for getting involved. Hopefully we still have a spring in our step at full-time. Join us here once again at full-time on A Celtic State of Mind.